In medieval courts, the jester held a strange and unique position. While nobles flattered the king and advisors spoke cautiously, the jester could mock the court openly. He could ridicule power, expose hypocrisy, and question authority, all while hiding his criticism behind humor. In many ways, the jester served an important function. He spoke truths that others were afraid to say. Surprisingly, this role exists today, not in royal courts, but in academia. Within the intellectual world, certain thinkers behave like jesters of the ivory tower. They challenge dominant ideas, ridicule intellectual fashions, and provoke controversy through irony, satire, and intellectual mischief. Academic institutions value seriousness. Scholars are expected to present careful arguments, cite sources, and follow established methods. But occasionally, a thinker appears who rejects these conventions. Instead of writing cautiously, they provoke. Instead of defending existing frameworks, they mock them. Instead of reinforcing intellectual authority, they destabilize it. These figures often appear disruptive or eccentric, yet they can play an essential role in intellectual life. They force scholars to confront questions they might otherwise ignore. Several famous philosophers have played the role of the academic jester. One of the earliest examples is Søren Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard wrote philosophical works under multiple pseudonyms, each representing a different perspective. Rather than presenting a single authoritative argument, he created a literary game of competing voices. This strategy allowed him to mock the philosophical systems of Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, which claimed to explain reality through grand abstract structures. Kierkegaard suggested that these systems ignored the complexity of individual existence. His irony was both humorous and devastating. Another famous philosophical provocateur was Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche rejected the solemn tone of traditional philosophy. Instead of writing systematic treatises, he used aphorisms, satire, and dramatic rhetoric. He mocked religion, morality, and philosophical seriousness. Nietzsche even described philosophers as people who secretly disguise their personal values as universal truths. By writing provocatively, Nietzsche forced readers to question the foundations of Western moral and philosophical traditions. In the 20th century, similar strategies appeared in new forms. Thinkers such as Jacques Derrida challenged traditional philosophical methods by playing with language itself. Derrida's approach, known as deconstruction, often involved revealing contradictions within texts and intellectual systems. His writing style was intentionally unconventional. Some readers found it brilliant, others found it maddening, but it undeniably disrupted established ways of thinking. The academic jester performs several valuable functions. First, they challenge intellectual dogma. When a theory becomes dominant within a field, it can begin to feel unquestionable. Jesters expose hidden assumptions and contradictions. Second, they encourage intellectual creativity. By experimenting with style, argument, and perspective, they open new ways of thinking about complex problems. Finally, they remind scholars that no idea should become sacred. Even the most respected theories must remain open to criticism. Of course, intellectual jestership carries risk. Satire can be misunderstood. Provocative arguments can be dismissed as unserious, and some thinkers push provocation so far that their work becomes difficult to interpret. There is also a fine line between genuine critique and empty contrarianism. A successful intellectual jester does more than shock or entertain. Their work ultimately reveals something important about the limits of accepted knowledge. Ironically, the academic jester often exists within the various institutions they criticize. Universities provide the intellectual environment that allows unconventional thinkers to develop their ideas, but those same institutions can also resist disruptive voices. As a result, many academic jesters occupy a strange position. They are insiders who behave like outsiders. They belong to the ivory tower, but they constantly question its authority. The medieval jester used humor to expose the blind spots of kings. The academic jester performs a similar function in the world of ideas. Through irony, satire, and provocation, these thinkers challenge intellectual complacency. They remind scholars that knowledge advances not only through careful argument, but also through disruption. Sometimes the most important question in academia is not the one asked politely in a conference paper. Sometimes it is the one asked with mischievous smile.